The Red Sea has long been a corridor of contact between East and West. The first trade routes date back to the period of the Egyptian Old Kingdom, the 3rd millennium BC. Understanding of the seasonal monsoon winds regime of the Indian Ocean in the early Roman period allowed Roman ships to quickly reach western India, departing from the Egyptian coast of the Red Sea. From that time, a regular trading system was established and continued with some interruptions until the modern age. Starting from the 15th century, with the arrival of the Portuguese and subsequently of the Dutch, French, English, and Italians, the Red Sea became a lively hub of one of the earliest commercial and cultural dynamics of globalization. The products arriving in the Mediterranean from the Indian Ocean via the Red Sea were spices, precious stones, fabrics including Chinese silk, and, later on, porcelain, as well as coffee from Ethiopia and Yemen.
يا بني بالله سقيني عطشان سقيني مايا وعالمايا عالمايا وعالعين يا ملايا يا بني بالله سقيني عطشان سقيني مايا يا عوال ولا عيوننا عيون الماء يا عيوننا يا عوال ولا عيوننا عيون الماء يا عيونها وندبلت لشفونها تدغدغني الحنايا يا وعالمايا عالمايا وعالعين يا ملايا يا بني بالله سقيني عطشان سقيني ماي يا وين عيونها عيون الماء يا عيونها يا وين.
In this context, the discovery of a wreck offers a wealth of information on important historical and economic aspects and commercial routes that would otherwise remain unknown. In 2015, the Saudi Commission for Tourism and National Heritage invited an Italian team from the University of Naples, l'Orientale, to jointly explore the offshore area between Yanbu and Lajj, two Saudi ports in the central sector of the northern Red Sea. The survey led to the identification of a merchant ship dating from the 18th century, wrecked near a coral reef a few miles off the coast. The wreck is located on a sandy bottom at a depth of 22 meters. It is the only known wreck so far in Saudi waters that preserves both the cargo and the wooden ship structure, and it is one of the best preserved wooden wrecks in the Red Sea. The cargo of the Lajj wreck consisted of hundreds of Chinese porcelain bowls, 1,000 jars, and some huge storage jars, probably used to transport water and food. Among the crew's personal items were Ottoman tobacco pipes. The boat itself represents an extraordinary find in terms of size. The preserved remains measure about 35 meters in length by 10 meters in width. From archival sources, we know that in the 18th century in the Suez shipyards, vessels were built with capacities of up to 1,000 tons. In the aft area of the wreck, a large mound of jars was identified, similar to those still used in domestic contexts of Arab and Egyptian villages, to contain liquid and keep them fresh. Some were still equipped with a filter to protect from insects. All are richly and variously decorated in reliefs and engravings, and probably come from a large production area on the southeastern side of the Red Sea. On the port side of the wreck, towards the bow, numerous coffee cups of fine Chinese porcelain have been identified, richly decorated in white and blue and intended for the European and Ottoman markets. The cargo of Chinese porcelain suggests that the merchant ship was probably traveling a coastal route from south to north along the Saudi coast. These were perhaps loaded in Mocha, the main Yemeni port of the time, or in Jeddah, the port of Mecca. The ship was perhaps wrecked during a night stop while it was moored at the anchor near the coral reef. Ongoing research might better clarify the circumstances of the wreck and will provide better information on the composition of the cargo and other products on board, as well as the structural features of this large and extraordinary merchant ship.
يا بني بالله سقيني يا بني والله سقيني عطشان سقيني ماي عالماي عالماي وعالعين يا ملاي يا بني